All right. All right. What's up, guys? And another episode of Devil's Advocate. Um, we are going to, react to some few different kind of clips and get Addison's opinions and thoughts on men and women dynamics. So let's get started. Um, let's get started on something that I put on that I thought has for me has exploded on TikTok for me. It was the most viral thing for me on TikTok. So see this right here? Let's test it out. Why the red pill has been growing because men are purposeless, guideless, and have no value in themselves. A fan, right, to meet this girl paid 10K. You can see it. A man paid 10K to meet a woman he followed on OnlyFans and only got a hug. Days later, she posted a photo on vacation with her actual boyfriend. This fan, the simp, pretty much paid for her to go out with her boyfriend on vacation. That's why red pill is growing, right? We have men that are not guided, purposeless. They are depressed. They don't know what to do with their lives. That 10K could have improved his life, helped improve his life, right? Get him in the gym, start investing, buying properties, improving himself, right? Also, getting coach, getting therapy, just things to improve yourself and fulfilling yourself with other hobbies, right? So you could, I don't know, have more to talk about or more ways to have friends, more ways to interact with different types of girls. But his life is OnlyFans. Spending 10K for a hug? Shit, I think you could do that with any girl walking the street. Just give them 10K and ask for a hug. This is why right here. Why I see red pill is growing because men are slowly realizing that they have no purpose in life. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to improve their own life. It's stupidity to spend 10K on a woman you don't know to help her go out with another man. Ridiculous. Okay, so what do you so you pretty much heard my views on this little bit of, I guess, an article, not an article, but a post that I came across. You pretty much heard my views on it. What do you think of, let's say, that type of man and how I see the red pill? Because I would also like to know, even though you may only have a glancery view of red pill, what do you see as it, just from the outside, whether you see it, whatever, however view you see it, and then what do you see about this thing?
He made a poor decision.
Definitely.
Whether he had the money or not, to spend it on that. I don't know details about what happened. Was she clear up front about what she was offering, or did she
Well, I
lie to
mean,
him, or did she buy something he didn't get?
it was not as detailed, but you gotta think, at the end of the day, all he got was a hug, and what she got was 10K. So whatever you know, whatever he got is what he got out of it.
Was he
You
happy
know,
with it?
it didn't
No.
matter. He spent 10K. I mean,
Maybe it was a hug worth 10K to him, but no, I wouldn't have spent that money on that. Um, I gotta ask you though. Uh, and I mean, in the video, I think you were fair. I don't know if you were wrong about anything you said, but do you blame the woman?
the women, I don't.
Okay.
I've said it in the comments
Hmm.
that you'd be a fool not to accept money just given to you for
Hmm.
doing practically nothing. I don't necessarily let's say this.
women doing OnlyFans, that's stupid, and it's a terrible decision for your future. Yet, I don't fault a woman for thinking about quick and easy money. It is you like the old saying goes. You're not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. You know,
Mhm.
women make. Have you seen it? I mean, not all women, but a lot of women make 100K a year doing OnlyFans.
Yeah.
That's fast. That's tempting money. Now it's going to be bad for your future, but I don't blame a woman for seeing money and just going for it. I do blame, let's say, even in the OnlyFans thing, the men that pay that money, because, like I said in the thing, that money comes from men that are down in the dirt. They're having trouble with relationships, but you don't understand that. People always say it, money is not important. Money, no, you're stupid. Money is not the end all to be all, but money is pretty much the most important thing in this world. Whatever society you live in, there's not a single place on this earth, if it's a civilization, that money's not important, because it could build you. You think these type of men, they're not providers. Why? Because they're spending like 10K on a fucking hug. They can't. That money could have been saved, like the things I said. Okay, so
I agree. Um, hmm. I mean, I don't really have anything else to say about that, and you shouldn't have spent
Well,
10K on a hug. When you say,
but I want to know, because this is now, I'm not saying this is an epidemic, but men do say there is a problem with simp culture, right? Just men and doing this, right? It's really one sided, where men just like throwing money and getting nothing, and they're just like like porn is free, but this is because like they want the women, the kind of a fake connection that women kind of give on OnlyFans, like, oh, they know your name, whoop de doo, something like that. I think it's within the male sphere, it's kind of an epidemic where social media, women are getting like immense validation. Any woman, even the most average woman, this is where me and Addison were talking before, is like he thinks that, let's say this, red pill, they think what they're talking about, just the top percent of people, like the top percent of women, the most gorgeous, the most the richest, most wealthy men, but it also trickles down to the average people, because even an average woman, she will open her Instagram or TikTok or whatever, and there will be dozens, even hundreds of men saying, "Oh, you're so beautiful," or "This man is lucky to have you," or he's not treating you right," or all this validation. Even the most average women that you could think that could be maybe fat or maybe even obese or just so average, 5 and below in looks, but yet there will always be men out there that will give you validation, saying, "Oh, you go, girl. You're so beautiful. You're all that shit." So that is, and a problem. Where back in the day, back in our parents and our grandparents' day, it is just the men in their immediate circle that will give them compliments. That, you know what? That's why women will get the attraction from the men that's in their vicinity, because that's the validation. Because women love validation. That is the thing. So,
so women aren't the only people who are successful with OnlyFans.
don't fool yourself. I'm not. Let's not be crazy and say like the 1% of a man that's like making money on OnlyFans. That means nothing.
Okay.
So
they're not the only ones successful on OnlyFans, but if a woman is successful on OnlyFans, I mean, that's like saying, like you said, it's bad for her future. If she can do well and make a lot of money, I don't think it's bad for her future. I mean, that's like,
let's say this, right?
Mm-hmm.
One, it is bad for the future because what man wants to marry a woman that he knows that all men can see her naked body online? Very few men could do that, right? But that's not the point. I mean, you could talk about that because I'm saying you're being wrong because first of all, for being someone that's religious, you're crazy, right? You know you're against that.
I'm
A
just
woman that I could search if I know a name of a woman that's been on OnlyFans. If I know her name, I could Google it and find naked pictures of her. That's just that's a fact. And what man wants that knowledge of, oh, this is a woman I'm going to marry? Any man can see her naked. So what how special it is for me to marry this woman when she just gave it out for free. Plus, many men do, whether it's true or not, then in most cases it's not true, but men view women that do OnlyFans as, loose, excuse me, I'm sorry, as promiscuous, as, having sex a lot, like they're porn stars kind of way, right? So also that's a detriment to your future. That's there's no denying that. But I also want to go back to the point is more about the man, right? I talked more about the men, right? And that's what I want from this YouTube channel, my TikTok. I want to focus, on the struggles of men, the problems, and just to inform other men of what's happening with men. So you know that, okay, this is like the dating world that men have to go through, stuff like that.
Well, I mean, I agree with you. He was wrong. It wasn't in his best interest or really anybody's except hers to spend 10K on me and a woman. I mean, if that's what he wanted to do and he had the money, cool. Could have used it for something else. Maybe he's super well off and it's just pocket change for him, but I wouldn't recommend it. I agree with you there.
So, but I mean, what are your thoughts on that's what I'm saying. Look, I feel like maybe you don't see it in your sphere, right? But I see it on the wider spectrum where men like back in our day, we never heard of the word incel, right? Now we do.
Now, okay, hold on. So let's be careful because I don't. You gotta talk in degrees. So what do you mean about not hearing about the word incel?
Well, okay, back on our day, let's say when we're in high school, have you even heard that word before?
No.
Yeah. So, but that's what I'm saying. I think, in the sense that there is an epidemic where men are more depressed, more dejected from life, are struggling, right? Incel is more extreme, but I believe these are the type of men, in that video, these are the type of men that would lead to that kind of lifestyle. Spending 10K on a woman that could care less about you, that will hurt you, one. And then you do it again. Men keep on doing that and getting no results. You're going to become an incel where you hate all women because spending 10K, you would think, oh my God, this woman should love me. This woman should want to be with me because I'm spending so much money on her. Right. No, right? And then it leads you to the type of man that I hate all women. This is because I did all this effort. And what did I get? I'm broke and now I hate all women. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying, right? And okay. That's why I talked about the red pill, and I talk about this is what the issue and the struggle with men. And I hope I'm showing my friend too that how I want is to show the struggle of all the men. And this is
you're not going to get an argument with me there. I don't think you said anything that I was listening to see if you were saying anything that I needed to argue against.
Yeah.
You haven't. No.
Yeah. Do you see men in this light? Is this the direction? You see men, the struggling of men, the difficulty of men? Because look at this. Whether this boy is a millionaire or not, spending 10K to get, let's say, a hug, he's definitely having trouble with women.
Yeah.
Right?
And with people, got intimacy and social issues, possibly. Yeah, I can see that. And I'm sure a lot of men have those issues. Yeah, I mean, no argument there. Not all, not most of the men that I know,
Uh,
but enough that, like you said, you have men who are online
most of the
trolling.
men you know, are they a couple? I mean, do they have relationships?
Um, I know men who are
No, no. I'm saying
in
let's like
relationships,
you do a
and
majority. Let's
I
say
know men who
you
have been.
percentage. Do you know more men that are in a relationship, or you know more men that are single?
Um, I mean, because I'm single, I'm probably closer with a lot of single men, men who are in relationships, spend their time doing relationship stuff. You know what? More than they do hanging with their buddies. So I'm probably closer. I would say I probably know more single men, but I know a lot of married men are men in relationships as well. So I don't know. My circle though is mixed. So I can't really say I see personally it's swaying to one side or another. Now, I mean, this is probably a different discussion, but I've seen a lot of people who have been in and out of relationships, and I know a lot of men who have been married and it failed, and I don't know what that says because it's been for different reasons, but yeah, I know a pretty even. I know men who've been through all different kind of circumstances.
Well, I mean, what I would like, and what I hope more men, right, by watching, let's say this type of content, is that what see, that's what I'm saying. Like at the beginning, where I was never in this sphere, is
Hmm.
that I don't really take a critical thought of it, right? I think that's the problem we have right now with men, that we're not, again, we don't express emotions well, so we're not seeing the the struggles of other men. Because I believe, I mean, whether I'm wrong or right, because I don't know your group of friends that well or at all, but if we look at men from a different lens, as like from outside, I believe more men than other men would think are actually suffering, right? I mean, they have friends and great, that's it. But relationship wise, they're all suffering. Where women, they're not having an easy, or not. I'm not saying an easy time, but they're having just a more difficult time navigating the dating market, and it's just a struggle for them. That's why I'm thinking like it's great that maybe your friends, because they have friends, it's an easier way of life. But in the dating market, I think if we take a step back, the men that are dating, they struggle with the current girlfriends, maybe break up and stuff like that, or the men that are not dating, they may struggle with the values and just the life around the dating sphere. But that's my thought, that most men don't even look at or notice.
So, and again, no argument for me there. Like, I mean, if you're talking about red pill, I don't. If the aspect of it that you're discussing right now isn't something that I have a problem with, um, focusing on men's health mentally and emotionally, um, I do agree with you that there are a lot of guys out here who have issues, perhaps myself included, that we haven't confronted and need to confront because we don't express our emotions very well. We're not excited about talking about how we feel or what we're thinking. Um, a lot of us are not in therapy. So it makes perfect sense that men will have a lot of issues that haven't gone addressed and that should be. You wouldn't get an argument from me there against that at all. So,
Okay. Well, I mean, we could continue, but we are on a time crunch, so let's move on to the next thing. But talking about dating, is that I want to show something that why would be a problem within the dating sphere.
Thousand. Like, I guess if they made less than that, I feel like we wouldn't have the lifestyle I wanted. Ideally, my husband needs to be making like 650,000. If I'm making this much and I have this lifestyle, this person cannot have a lesser lifestyle than me. Otherwise, it is not going to work out. Anywhere from 70 to 100K. I would have to say 127, $500,000. Is that bad?
Probably 150 to a quarter of a million. That's my guess. If your wife can spend more than you make, like you need to make more money. So it really just depends. 150 maybe to 250,000 a year would be comfortable for sure. The more the merrier.
What do you think is the median income for age 30? Well, $52,776.
So my expectations are not realistic.
How much money does a guy need to take you out on a date?
Minimum £1 million.
Minimum £1 million.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
On my maintenance.
Do you not care about personality?
It has to start with 7 figures. Sorry.
Is this not enough money for
That's
you?
not 7 figures. Sorry. Pocket change.
Damn, Jesus.
You need income daily.
No, weekly?
No, daily. I have income daily, so you need income daily.
Not weekly or bi-weekly, daily.
How much money do you think a guy should make per year?
Like fully like adult.
Someone that you would consider wanting to be with the rest of your life.
300K. Million? 2 million?
Okay. We're at ASU, you know, so you're not gonna find him here.
A lot. We're expensive.
Yeah. Milk.
Minimum 6 figures, no matter what the situation is.
We have an expensive lifestyle.
Yeah.
500,000.
I could have a nice settled life with a 200,000 a year, normal, great, yeah.
What's the lowest though that you would go for?
I don't think money is talking. Maybe like a.
It has to be. You just said 1 or 2 mil.
How much money does a guy need to date you?
As much as me.
How much do you make?
200K.
What do you do to make 200K a year?
I upload pictures of my feet on Finder.
And you have that much from that?
Yeah, easy as that.
I'm a 33-year-old.
So and I can say this, right?
Mhm.
A lot of those women some are cute, but they are average. Okay. And I'm not saying below average, right?
Mhm.
Some of them are kind of, but some of them are average, cute, maybe a 6, maybe a 7, but they're average women. So really, these are average women's expectations.
I don't know. I mean,
Well,
if we're assuming that all women or most women are represented by what we saw in that video, that's rough.
Well, it's a wide range,
I don't think it is.
That's what I want to change my friend's perspective. He's definitely I never say all, right?
I know.
But a lot of things I say, I believe majority. And I believe the majority of women, they may not say 6 figure, but I want a lifestyle, I want to travel, stuff like this. Well, everything costs money. So they're basically saying 6 figure without saying 6 figure. So yeah.
So I mean, a lot of us dream, right? I want to make 6 figures. And I don't know, marry Megan Good and move into a mansion. I mean, if you're gonna ask me what my dream is, that's what it is. It'd be great, be awesome. I didn't say it's realistic. I didn't say that I'm gonna turn down an awesome opportunity with someone I care about because it's not my dream. A lot of those girls are young and out having fun, like kids in college who don't know what they're talking about, or maybe who are pursuing professions that they might end up making that much money. I don't know what all of those women are making. Are they making a lot of money? I don't know. Like there's other questions. I feel like I could make a video with an equal amount of women who do not have those kind of expectations. And also, I don't feel like all those expectations are serious ones. I don't really believe that.
First of all, I want to make a challenge.
Okay.
Right. I hope, right? This is, of course, Addison. I mean, he's a very busy guy. But I want to make a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
That is your challenge.
Okay.
Let me next video, hopefully, is to let me react to certain things where you think, right, that women those are not expectations of women. I believe it's hard to find. It's going to be hard to find.
Okay.
Right? Because let me say this. Like I said before, women may not say 6-figure, they will say a lifestyle, which equals 6-figure. So it is just, it's blankingly saying, right? And I can tell you this, right? What you were saying before, a dream, the difference between a man's dream and a woman's dream, it's not going to affect a man's decision to be with somebody. A woman, it will.
Okay.
Because that's where she have the expectations. If I want a 6-figure man, I ain't gonna date this guy because, you know, he's not 6-figure. But if a man's like say my friend here, say I want to date Megan Good, but you know what? This woman is fine. I'm not gonna hold on to this dream because I'm not dating Megan Good. I'm gonna not say I don't want to be with this woman. That's the difference between men and women. Men are more realistic. Women are allowed, because of society, to live in a fantasy.
Okay.
And that's a problem where I'm more disappointed in this, bro, right? Being religious, is that women letting women, or being fine with women wasting their early years, having fun, having those expectations, even though these women are in college years, they can still think about their future, right? And prepare for the future and take steps for their future. Because one thing I've always heard, let's say Kevin Samuels, the late great Kevin Samuels, always say women will put so much effort, the money, the time, and the effort into their education. But and they do that with their early years, right? The time, right? Their young years into education. Yet finding a husband, they don't. They wait until they're 30, 35, maybe in 40, then find a husband. And then try a family. That's what I'm saying. I want to say maybe in the future, because we are running out of, we are on a strict time, is that men are women, like the whole saying go, having a woman at her worst, or I mean having someone at their worst, and then if so you could deserve them at their best. Men are only getting women at their worst. They don't see them at their best because their youth, they waste it to have fun, which is my friend here is saying it's fine, which is
I'm not saying, no, that's not what I'm saying. That's not
it's
fine. What I'm saying is, all right, first of all, a mature woman is not a woman at her worst. I don't agree with that. That's one, right? Two, all right, so for example, I work with women at my job. It just, I think I immediately surrounded by more women who make about what I make, and I'm just a middle-class guy, right? In fact, I work in a unit with 3 women, right? And well, I have a supervisor. She makes more than me, right? And 2 who work the same position I do. So you can assume they make about as much as me, right? They're married with children. One of them is my age, right? It's not like what I'm saying is that they're normal women, and they're not in relationships with men who make 6 figures, and they're not walking around talking about, you know, a man needs to support my lifestyle or make more than me. I'm saying, like, you can, there are videos like this that are a bit sensational. And then there's real life. And in real life, I'm not saying that there aren't women who aren't realistic, but in real life, I don't think we're seeing a lot of middle-class men and women who aren't getting into relationships because the men are middle-class men.
Let me say this, right? One, mature women are terrible because because as you mature, I've said this. I said to you before. I said to you in past episodes, is that as a woman, as her life experience goes on, there's only more trauma. You don't get less trauma as you get older, right? So if a woman, right, is single, let's say a woman is single at 35, she's not trauma free. She got more trauma at 35 than she did got at 20. Let's say that's plain and simple, right? So, but let's say with your example where you talk about the woman in your office married with children. Well, you gotta think they've been with a partner for a while. Most women, I believe, don't build with men anymore. That's the problem where, let's say this, the college women or whatever actually find a husband in college, their own financial status, they're at their own level. So that means you're growing with your partner. If you're single, go out of college, well then now you want a man that's already built. You're not looking for a man that's on his way up, or you're with your man going up, or you're with your man building a life. No, most women are coming out of college, not in a position where they've been in a long-term relationship, or they're maybe 2-3 years out from being engaged. No, most women comes out of college single and in debt and maybe working a job. Now they expect a man either to make more than them or close to them. And I can tell you this, most men there's a good position of men that's not going to college or finishing college. So
Most
right
people
there.
out of college in debt and looking for a job. Man,
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But what she bring, I'm telling you what a woman's bringing. She's bringing the expectation of, oh, I want a man who's now making more than me and then having a college degree or equal to me in some way, right? And that's the thing where men are not doing that. Plus, men, now you have a inflated ego, because I believe a college degree, for whatever reason, gives women such an inflated ego because they have a degree. So I think that's ridiculous, but that's what I'm saying. It's making these women having these ideals that I want a 6-figure man. Well, if you built with a man, find a man in his early process, at his beginning. Well, of course she's not thinking about 6-figure man, because she has a man that she's building a family with, building a life with. So like the people in your office, they found a man early on and build a life with them. So why would they care about 6-figure men when they have a man that they spent the years with building with him?
One of my coworkers though was going into her sect. Well, I won't say. I know a woman who got out of a relationship with a child, and the person she's married to now is not her child's father, right? So he's not a man that she met when she was very young, and that's fine. What I'm saying is, we're stating it like it's a fact that like most women have these high expectations. I think some women do, and some women are realistic.
I think most.
But I don't think most. And here's the thing: I think that I think it's actually the minority, but I think they're loud. That's it. For instance, all right. So, and it depends on how you define maturity. The women we saw in that video, right? They're the women who will get on camera and say stuff like that. A mature woman, and I'm not just talking about mature in age. I'm talking about mature emotionally and in attitude, mentally. They're not getting on camera to say something like that. They're probably not stopping to talk to the guy. And if they do stop, what they say isn't entertaining enough to put in a video. So I don't know that we're seeing a real representation of what most women expect. I think we're seeing a loud minority. And I think that goes for men too, who are extremely upset.
You know where I could debunk you, right?
Yeah.
Is that you're right. I mean, social media, it does skew one way. It does put out what you're, the loudest of the people you see in social media. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, the statistics though it's not fact, but you can correlate with it. Okay? 80% of divorces are filed by women. And the two main factors for divorces is infidelity, which men and women cheat at the same rate, and finances. Okay? If finances is important to a woman that's divorcing, well, what do you think about that? That's about money. So if 80% of women are doing that within marriages, are divorcing, let's say lowball it, 40% of that 80% of women, half of it is divorcing because of money. Well, that's a decent amount of women that are divorcing. That's one thing that you can that I'm using to kind of correlate that money is important to women.
Okay.
And another factor is that you think of this. Goldman Sachs did a study. They paid for it because they're trying to make money. So why would they, lie about it? Because they want to make money. They did a study where in 5 years, women over 35 and up are going to be single and childless more than ever in human history, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to think that I'm not saying that it's necessarily money, but it's still expectations. Women are having, and they're allowed. I'm saying this: women are allowed to have whatever expectations they want to have, but again, their expectations are pretty much leaving them outside of the dating market. So I would like to make a point. Let's say even half of that study are women thinking about expectations money. Well, let's say the single women, half of that is about money. Married women, half of that is about money. So really, I believe a good proportion, and in my view, majority of women think about the importance of money, right? I believe that it's only the non-vocal and the minority of women and the special women, because those are special women that they want to build with a man. Money is not the most important thing because they, again, want to build with a man. I said this before. It's illogical to think that if a man makes 50K and a woman, let's even give her the benefit of the doubt, she makes 75K. Well, at the end of the day, 50K and 75K combined, that you are a 6-figure income household. That's great. So that's the problem with, women and kind of people, that they're not thinking that let's combine income and that's how I survive. No, women don't want that, because women don't want that. Because women are not built to provide and be the breadwinner or be a big part of the financial load. I that's what I think most women do. So I think that's the thing where Addison, he sees the small minority and think it's the bigger picture, when I don't think so. And I hope that, this is why I'm challenging you to prove me wrong by just, I'm probably not going to be able to prove me wrong, but more like just, give me a different perspective. And, have some videos for me to react to and give my thoughts on.
Okay. All right.
But, we want to react to two things, but it's up to you. I don't care if you want to continue or not. I know you're on a time crunch, so we could end it now, or
Did you have another video?
I have one video.
Yeah,
It's 10 minutes.
One more.
Yeah, you want to do it? You want to do it? Okay, it's 10 minutes. I'll probably skip to the part where it's more about. Well, let's get started.
Okay.
Top 5 worst dates of my life, and yeah, I should have seen it coming. First red flag, he asked me if I wanted to go to Olive Garden. Yeah, I quickly curbed that and suggested a place that was an Olive Garden. Wait,
what's wrong with Olive Garden? Please explain. Somebody, please. What's wrong with Olive Garden? I'm trying to figure it out.
Do you have a problem with Olive Garden?
No, not everybody likes Olive Garden, but I'm cool with it. I like Olive
But
Garden.
let's say that level. Let's say that level of
Well, assuming what she's
dating,
talking about is it's too cheap a restaurant for her, then it doesn't make me feel. If I were a man dating her and I wanted to treat her Olive Garden and she thought that was too cheap, then
let's say, because there's a level of Olive Garden is kind of like an Applebee's, Red Lobster, I mean, are those terrible? I like them. I don't think they're the worst.
It's fine. She didn't
Yeah.
want to go through it. That's fine too. But I mean, that might be sign number one that she's not appreciative
Mhm.
of free meals.
Do you think a Cheesecake Factory is the same level as an Olive Garden? Olive Garden?
Cheesecake? I mean, they're both kind of Italian dishes. Cheesecake Factory is better.
Okay, so maybe it's maybe it's the next level. Maybe Cheesecake Factory is the next level. But okay.
I mean, now hold up before we continue.
Uh-huh.
I'm not. I want to hear more, and I would want to know more about her line of thinking. But if he wanted to take her to McDonald's, and she was like, no, come on, I don't want to just go to McDonald's. Would you have a problem with her then?
Oh, I mean, let me give it. I mean, like, okay, I wouldn't have a problem with her, right? Mm-hmm. But I can tell you this, right? I think that's I would say the problem.
Like, take me to Olive Garden. I'd rather go to Olive Garden. I don't want to go to McDonald's. Just go to Olive Garden.
But I mean, I say like, okay, McDonald's is a step below, Olive Garden. But I'm saying like, I wouldn't have a problem with her saying no to McDonald's. But I would say this, right? Mm-hmm. The point of a date is to get to know people.
Agreed.
Right? Mm-hmm. What the date is not the most important thing, especially for a man. Right? It's to get to know the woman. So that's the expectation of women, wherever you bring her to. So that's the thing where I kind of feel like that's the problem with the dating scene right now, is that if I take you to, the Olive Garden or McDonald's or like what is it like? Oh, what is it? Papanos or just some really really expensive restaurant. Uh-huh. Does that make you love me more, or does that make you fall in love with me? I mean, like, no, it don't. It don't make a woman fall in love with you. So really, like, that doesn't, that's why I think it's the ridiculous of it, right? I mean, if the man think you could date two men, right? One man takes you to McDonald's, one takes you to, the most expensive restaurant in the city. You're not gonna. It doesn't automatically give you the thing where you fall in love with the man who took you to the most expensive place. So really, that's not giving you an edge.
I hear you, but there's a line between a woman not appreciating a guy's best efforts and a guy not putting forth his best efforts.
I know. Agree. I do say that, like, the difference between the effort of the man, but I'm saying the idea of it. Like, you could go to either or. It doesn't necessarily give you a huge advantage with a woman. All right, that's why I'm pointing that it's to get to know your date. Okay. That's why I see the ridiculousness of the dating scene right now. So okay. I don't know, but yeah, let's continue.
All that I suggest, and I pick a different food stall than he picks, and he walks away when I stop to order my food. So basically, I have to pay for my own food.
So I don't know if you got it, but she picked a different place to eat. So when she ordered her food, he went to it's a stall. So I guess it's one of those places where you could order this and then you go to a different place and order another one, whatever. But she ordered her food, so she had to pay for her food while he went to somewhere else to get his food.
Okay.
I think that's the thing where, well,
I mean, that's rude. Right, because if she didn't want to go where you wanted to take her, you could end the date there.
Well, she didn't end it, so it continued.
But he could have ended it. He could have just said, if she suggests another place and he agrees to go there, I don't know. Let's do it. I don't know.
What are we, 12? I mean, I didn't ask myself on this date, right? You asked me out. At this point, I'm like, there's no salvaging this at all. Like, you're not serious. You're not my type. We're probably talking for an hour and a half.
Oh, you did.
Almost 2 hours. I'm like feeling bad about it. I'm like, okay, maybe give him a second chance. Again, it's slim pickings out here. Like, reconsidering going on a second date with him at the end of this. Until he gets on the subject of like dating apps, and he opens up his Hinge app. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of great options on top picks. So I'm like, see, she's cute. I think, it's like the end of the story. He's like, oh yeah, she is. Drops his phone from my hands, looks at it, and he's like, what should I say to her?
Effing beautiful. Oh man. Oh man.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
You're asking your date what you should say to another woman?
Hell yeah.
I say this to say, if you think it's not it, it's not it. Like, if there's one thing I've learned, it's that people will show themselves to you, like, in small ways before they show themselves in, like, big ways. So
That's a pretty big way to show you. I mean, I don't get what's more obvious than that, and letting you know that he's still dating and he needs more convincing that maybe you're the person he should be focusing on. Back into it.
stop wasting your time, ladies.
Wow. Okay. So I'm trying to figure out what's so bad about Olive Garden. I'm still stuck on the Olive Garden thing. Being attacked. I don't get why we're talking shit about Olive Garden.
Well, I think that's the end of his her clip. First of all, I really hate that that nose ring of hers. That really that was ugly. I think that's ugly. It just looks like a piece of metal in your. I mean, like it's not even connected.
I would do it,
I think that's just really ugly of a woman doing that. But so what's your thoughts on everything you saw with her description of her date?
We only have her side of the story. She didn't want to go to Olive Garden. Okay. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think there's anything really bad about Olive Garden, but that's kind of beside the point, because when they didn't agree on where to go or when she suggested another place to go, if he didn't want to go there, that could have been the end of the date. That's it. You know what I mean? Like
but they both decided to continue.
They both decided to continue. So if they both decide to continue, and again, we only have her side of the story, he should still be cordial and polite. It's impolite to, if the plan was for you both to go on a date and the man was going to pay for it, it's impolite to make her.
But do you think that she set the tone already? Right? She set the tone of the date. Whether, I mean, I agree that it is impolite, but she set the tone of the date while they still continue the date
and start looking for other women.
No. Okay. First of all, that part was wild. But are you saying that he was impolite when he left her to pay for her own food, or which part you say he's impolite?
No, I'm saying if you're not happy with the way she's acting, you end it. Just like she said. She was like, listen, ladies, don't put up with,
Well, I mean, you gotta think sometimes in dates they try to see it through to the end to see if they change their mind.
If her story is true, it doesn't sound like he was trying to see it through to the end. It sounds like he was being petty after they didn't go to Olive Garden.
Well, I don't know if that I don't know if he was being petty with Olive Garden, but he probably thinking that, you know what, this woman probably not going to work out, whether the Olive Garden or not, because again, she did say they were talking for 2 hours or something.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that the conversation was not good.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm assuming it wasn't good because he was trying to message another girl in front of her. So really, but again, the ending was rude. I agree, but I mean, in a sense, she set the tone for the relationship. I mean, not the relationship, but for the date, right?
Okay.
If you want a man to dictate or say where, because practically all women say, "Oh, you choose your place." Well, I'll follow you. They don't tell you where to go. So when a man chooses and then you say no, well, then you should have chose yourself. Then you should have chosen.
Don't we complain about that all the time?
But it's true.
Know what you want to eat. Well, she knew what she wanted to eat, so
that's the thing, right? And this is a first date, so a man was. I think he probably testing out this kind of woman. I mean, she was probably too bougie for Olive Garden, which is fine. If it's not your level, then it's not your level. But that shows you that, you know what, this man will probably see that, okay, this is the type of woman I'm on a date with. So, hey, if you want to continue, I'll continue. because again, like her, she wanted to see maybe it would change her mind as the day continues. Well, he probably felt the same way. But I'm saying after 2 hours, obviously she didn't change his mind, and he definitely didn't care if he changed her mind. So you know, yeah.
So
I want to say the thing, right? What really I want to know your thoughts.
Mhm.
What really got to me is that the woman said there's slim pickings out there, and I believe wherever you are, let's say New York, California, wherever, whatever city, women will always say there's slim pickings. But you think about this, I view that there's slim pickings of the men that women want, not good men. Not saying like decent men, monogamous men that maybe would want to be with you. No, it's slim picking for the men that women will find attractive or women want to be with. So I think it's insulting when women always say slim pickings, because again, you're picking from a small pool of men because you eliminate practically every other man. So that was that part really irked me, but I want to know what's your thought when women do say that.
I'm not going to assume they're talking about me, but but I don't know. I think we reinforce what we hear. I mean, if maybe she needs to look somewhere else for her men. You know what I mean? Maybe that's the problem. She's looking in the wrong place, and she's finding guys she's not compatible with, or having trouble finding guys she is compatible with. I think we all eliminate at least half of the population, at least when we go to pick somebody, because we're not all attracted to the same thing, right? A person can be decent and not attractive to you. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but
I would like to say that for men, it is. I think men are they are more. I said it before, right? Men are more realistic, and that there's level attractions. I've seen men date a woman that, in my view, is probably a 3. So obviously, men will fluctuate with attractions. I believe, right? Men will downgrade on attraction because of other things. I know, yeah, it's my 3. I'm saying my 3, but I'm saying like men are realistic when they could downgrade on attraction for other qualities in a woman.
You don't think
really
that at all,
huh?
And you're saying you don't think women do that?
I don't. I mean,
she sounded like she was willing to do that.
But I think women do that at a late stage in their life. So really, I don't think that. Let's say this: she was not. I'm not saying physically attractive, but personality attracted for him. Right? She didn't. Her personality wasn't attractive to him. So that's what I'm saying. Where she was taking. Maybe she, and who knows? Maybe this guy was really good looking, right? But just a terrible personality, right? But that's what I'm saying. Like, women sacrifice certain things, but not. I mean, she obviously didn't want to continue the date, so she didn't. I mean, men will, I believe men don't eliminate a whole lot of women. I mean, like maybe the most bottom of the barrel women or the most aggressive, most terrible women that they would eliminate. But I think for men, it's more of a free for all. Men will accept a large amount of women just because they'd rather not be alone.
That's a shame.
But I mean, no, but I'm saying that men will, because men see other person. Like, let's say this. If they sacrifice, but this woman actually loves you, cares for you, would, let's say, maybe be a cooker, someone that cooks, cleans, they would sacrifice. She's not that good looking. So I don't think it's a shame. Right?
I mean,
you got.
I mean, you should have your priorities in order. I agree. And I mean, to some people, looks are a high priority. I would never say that they don't matter. I think they do.
Yeah.
But they also, that fades over time anyway. So it's not the most, it shouldn't be the most important thing. And so if you're picking somebody and looks isn't your number one criteria, that's good. But if you're settling for somebody who not going to make you happy because you just don't want to be alone, you're probably setting yourself up for a relationship that's going to fail.
See, but I think the difference between a stupid man thinks about settling. I think a smart man just thinks about what's more important, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like people say that. I believe most men don't settle because, like I said, they look. I mean, I'm not, and again, I don't say all men, but I think most men don't settle because they see other values. Like, let's say a personality. Let's say a woman that actually loves him, because men actually respects him. A woman that's not promiscuous, a woman that likes to cook and clean, a woman that likes to nurture, a woman that likes to be a mother, a woman that's, let's say, even a gamer. He will see other things.
Right.
I don't like to say that men maybe settle because of looks, but men will just see what's more important. What's better for me. Okay, I could supposedly settle in looks or supposedly settle in others, but it's not about settling. It's that what's worth it, because right. I believe for women, I would say the word settling, because most women will settle for a man that he's not that good looking, he's not that wealthy, he's not that tall, whatever. For a man that she feel like, okay, fine, I'm getting old, so whatever. Or I have a baby, I have a child, so this man treats me well. He's not, whatever, so I'll settle for him. I think most women settle.
Okay. Well, then you agree with her, because that was her ultimate point, right? Like,
what was that? Because she wasn't settling for him.
No, she wasn't. But what she was saying, well, she let the date go on, right? They both did. They both continued to date, even after he had done things that she said in the beginning of her story should have been red flag. Should have been like, this isn't going to work.
Which is ridiculous. How is Olive Garden a red flag?
I don't think Olive Garden should. I agree. Olive Garden.
That's what I said. Women. I mean, like women have.
But maybe him, without discussing it with her, walking off and deciding not to pay for anything when they had that agreement that's the time you end the date.
I mean, I would think that's more a red flag than the Olive Garden part.
That really matters. She stayed, but she stuck with it, and she stuck with it through part of the dating app fiasco. And
you know what? That's why I partially think that this man was a good-looking man.
Okay,
that's why I think that. I mean, like I'm thinking this guy's like maybe 6'2". And a good-looking face, good-looking body. That's what I'm thinking about.
Okay.
So this is why I think that this woman.
But ultimately, they both walked away, and what she was saying is, somebody shows you who they are, believe them.
No, I 100% agree with her in that thing. Where I believe women ignore red flags, right? They choose terrible men because they ignore red flags. They see it, but okay, this man is wealthy. This man is tall. Good looking, in shape, whatever, charming, funny. I'm gonna ignore that he abused his last girlfriend. I don't know, and I'll stick with him. Well, you ignore the red flag, and then now you're 2 years in this relationship and he's been abusing you. Well, you knew that, so that's what I'm saying. Like, women. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
But like, what's the thing where I want to show you this because I think that one problem is that women have terrible expectations and terrible choice in men.
Okay.
Where I'm hoping that this journey with my friend, where I can change his mind, where what, the dating scene is how it is. Men like us are single. I'm taking accountability, right? We both need to level up. And we both need to improve ourselves, be the best men we can be. But I also believe a good chunk of men's dating problem is women, in their sense that their expectations, standards, habits, and how they treat men, their aggressiveness, all this stuff is because of women. Why men are struggling dating in the dating scene, not just because of not 100%, because of where they are in life, but it's because of what women have done to the dating scene. And I want, to prove to my friend that, what? Hell, you're single, not really, not 100% because of, you, but because of how women have destroyed and created the dating scene that is as it is now.
I mean, that's interesting.
I mean, like, this is my first step in just showing you that.
Okay.
Like I said, her expectation, even again, I said it. We always put the onus, the responsibility of a man to choose where to go on the first date, and yet you shit on the place he chose. Well, then, okay, that dictates. That's going to show that kind of like dictates how the date's going to go. Second, she pretty much automatically thought she chose a different place. So now she thought he's going to pay for her food. I mean, he walked away. I mean, it was a little bit rude, but I'm saying, like, she chose a different place. So she didn't expect him to still pay for her food going to a different place. I mean, in essence, is that rude too? I mean, in essence, is that rude too? I mean,
so here's what I don't think happened, right? So if I'm saying I'm gonna take a girl out on a first date, I might not decide to surprise her with where we go. You know what I mean? Like, I might call her a day or two before and be like, "Hey, when we meet up on Saturday, this is what I'm thinking. How do you feel about that?" That could have eliminated the first issue.
True.
Then when she doesn't want to go to Olive Garden, if he doesn't want to pay for her somewhere else, he could say it right there. Be like, "Listen, we don't have to go to Olive Garden, but if we go somewhere else, we're going Dutch." Because I brought Olive Garden money. So just say. So we're going to the next place and it's not Olive Garden money. We got to go Dutch. And if she agrees to go on a date still, you don't have an issue where somebody's being rude to somebody else. You know what I mean? You're both
you make sense. I'm not saying you don't make sense, right? But I'm saying, like, how it was. Well, not every date is planned ahead of time. Most women, I mean, some women maybe wants to just maybe most women want you to lead, for you to plan everything. Well, okay, well, I'm planning it. You didn't like, you're in this plan, you didn't like it. Well, okay. And you say, let's continue the date. So, okay. Now you're the one who chose where to go. So technically, I asked you to a date to the Olive Garden. Now you are asking me to a date to this food stall. Who should be paying now? I mean, come on. I mean, so she was directing the date after she, destroyed the first planned date. I mean, come on. Being a devil's advocate, come on. She technically asked the second date.
All right.
So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, this is a reflection, and she's average, right? Now, like I said, I want to show my friend average women.
I don't know if you're gonna see a woman on any of these videos that you don't call average.
Are you telling me this woman's not average? Come on. Don't even try to be feminist.
Saying, you need to come with the video of a woman who's not average, who's higher than average. I want to see it.
Higher than average. Okay, we both know. Like, let's say Nicki Minaj, she's higher than average. A woman that what?
Not a celebrity.
Okay.
Make themselves up like.
Okay, you know what? I'll come with a video and show you.
Okay. I gotta come with videos too.
That's right.
I gotta come with some videos next week. So
come on, you guys gotta stay tuned for that stuff. We're gonna battle with videos.
Let's go.
But again, like, what I want to do is show you that I believe it's because of women how the dating market is right now, how it is so difficult for men right now. It's not just because where I showed you our first video where men are just not leveling it up, but that's true. I don't take away the onus from men. I do not. Never will I do that. But I would say this: my controversial take is that it is purely because of how women have destroyed or created what the dating scene is right now. So,
all right. Well, it's interesting.
I mean, like, maybe not in this one, right? Because we are running out of time, but I definitely want your more like expand on your views on the dating scene, right? Because
All right,
I mean,
cool.
I know that you don't go out on like a lot of dates, but I think that's because of women.
I
But-
think there's other factors like
Yeah.
we'll talk.
Women's
about
expectations.
it.
That's why. But you know, I think it was a good good couple clips. I think we have fun. I always enjoy our conversations.
Absolutely.
I think it's so fun dynamic. Although you should have talked more. You're making me lead.
You're the man.
You know. But I hope that when he shows me, bring out some video reactions, he'll probably lead the conversation. Let's hope. You
I
know?
got you. Next week.
But fun conversations. All right, we're gonna go. Hopefully, you guys will like and subscribe and stay tuned for more. Give me what your thoughts on all the clips we've shown. But other than that, great time. Hope to talk to you guys again later.
Good night, guys. Thank you. Thanks for watching.